Picture this. You just met someone that you're newly interested in. You go on a date at a coffee shop and it goes wonderfully. The next thing you know, they show up at your workplace with flowers, they're texting and calling, they're checking up with you all hours of the day, they're introducing you right away to friends and family, and a part of you feels really intrigued and important because this other person seems so invested in you. But there's also a part of you that is wondering, what's happening here? Something feels wrong. If you have experienced this, you might have experienced what we call love bombing. So, if that sounds interesting and if you're curious to find out more, then stick around. Welcome back to my channel, my lovely and wonderful people. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kayla and I release new videos every Monday about all things BPD. So if that sounds good, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below as well as the bell notification up top. Now, as you guessed it from the intro of this video and the title and all the other information that's already there, we're going to be talking about love bombing. I figured that because I had already made videos about the narcissist and BPD couple, we know that this is a thing that frequently happens. I thought that I would add more to my series about this, which I have already talked about gaslighting. Now I want to talk about love bombing because this is a common thing that narcissists will do, and I want you to have the signs so that you can recognize this in your life and stop the cycle before it ends. Stop the cycles before it starts. That's what I meant to say. So what exactly is love bombing? Love bombing, as you may have guessed it from the actual title of it, is when someone bombs you with excessive love and attention with the purpose of making you feel dependent on them. And love bombing typically happens at the beginning stages of the relationship, as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video. And it's really, this person seems overly invested in you. They compliment you all the time. They're always reaching out, trying to make plans, and trying to spend every second with you, giving you gifts, showering with attention, making sure that you're meeting their family right away, that they meet yours right away. So they become enmeshed with you very quickly. And although this may seem charming, taking a step back, you might have the awareness to recognize that, okay, well, although it's nice and it's also normal that when you first start seeing someone that you're interested in, you want to spend a lot of time with them, at some point it becomes unhealthy. And with narcissists, they also tend to love bomb, showering you with compliments, doing all those things to get you hooked so that you become dependent on them. There's also a part of it that with the showering with compliments, they're waiting and expecting you to do the same with them because they feel insecure and they need someone to validate their goodness or their existence as well. I would say that there's two main stages to love bombing. So the first one is idealization. This is that beginning phase that I just talked about. Everything happens super quickly, super fast. Within a week, right, they could be saying, okay, you need to come over and meet my family. I love you. Some people will propose moving in right away. So it happens very quickly. The purpose too of it happening so quickly is that it catches you off guard and you kind of get swept in. It's like a riptide that sucks you in and you don't have time to react. So that's the first stage. Second stage is devaluation. So once they have you hooked, then they will start to put you down. So you're on that pedestal, you're the best, and then they're going to start gradually breaking you down. Well, you're not doing enough for me. How come I haven't met your family yet? You're so selfish, you're inconsiderate. And just when you start to doubt yourself, doubt things, maybe start to question the relationship, they will hook you back on and they will alternate between idealizing you, devaluing you. You're the best, you're awesome, I love a relationship, you suck, you're not doing enough. And so it kind of goes back and forth until your perception of reality is flawed and altered and you're trapped in this thing that you don't even know how to get out because you can't tell reality from reality. So signs and warnings of love bombing are things like them offering you over the top, lavish gifts that they'll then hold over you saying, well, I bought you all of these things. I did all this for you because I love you. You don't love me. You're not doing this. Okay. So over the top gifts, extreme amounts of PDA on social media and in person. So you might start seeing them and they already want to do all the pictures together, posting everything, putting your name in their description on Instagram, doing things like that right off the bat. And when it's not reciprocated, when you're not doing the same things, once again, they will attack you for it. So we have the display of PDA, we have the gifts, we have this extreme clinginess that we see, compliment giving, right? So they're very insecure, so they will give, hoping that you give something back. Those are all telltale signs of love bombing. There's also the speed to which things move. There's no speed for any relationship, and so I'm not saying that there's a predetermined timeline that people are supposed to follow. No, that's not it. It's just when you see things that are happening that are outside of the norm, like meeting your family on the second date, then you might start to question yourself about some of these red flags. Other signs that you might be with a narcissist would be things like gaslighting, which I'll just link my previous video up there. But essentially gaslighting, it's making you doubt your perception of reality. You might start to even fear punishment and fear doing things when you're in their company because you think that you're going to make a mistake. And when you make a mistake, they're going to punish you. They're verbally, a lot of psychological abuse, very controlling behaviors. So if you're seeing any of those signs, you might be with a narcissist and you might be experiencing love bombing, gaslighting, and some of the techniques that narcissists do. So what do you do if you are the person who is love bombing someone else? Because you might be watching this and realizing that you do this to other people. So the first thing to ask yourself would be, are you doing this to overcompensate for a fear of abandonment that you might have? Because it's very normal and it makes sense that if you were left all your life, that when finally something good comes around, you're going to obsessively give everything to it so that you hope for it to stay. So if you're thinking that you might be love bombing someone, it's awesome that you're watching this and that you're developing awareness. And that's really the first step, is gaining that foresight, that insight, maybe communicating those things to your partner and saying, hey, I'm thinking that I might be doing this. And seeking professional help is always my go-to thing. Really working with someone who's familiar with abandonment issues, traumas, whatever that you experience that you think might be leading to this. And the second piece to this is, if you're the person who is experiencing love bombing, so not the one doing it, but the one receiving it, then once again, informing yourself on telltale signs of being with a narcissist, consulting support groups. I know in my region there are support groups for survivors of narcissistic abuse that you can join. You can also consult with a professional therapist who is licensed and trained in dealing with narcissistic abuse to heal you, recover from that trauma, help you gain back the real perception of reality, and help you step away from those unhealthy relationships. I'm curious to know if any one of you have either done love bombing or experienced it, and if yes, then how did you go about dealing with that? Leave a comment down below. I always read and respond to all of them. And on that note, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me today. Have an amazing week, and I will see you next Monday for another episode of On the Line.